Hey guys, this is Rosakelly. Welcome to a new 1 hour crafting series and Happy New Year. So hi guys, welcome back to the channel and to a new 1 hour crafting series. I have been missing creating these 1 hour quick and easy projects for you guys. So we're gonna be crafting together for 1 hour every Friday. So make sure that you guys are subscribed. Make sure that you have your notifications back on and to come back every Friday for a new crafting project. So I want this hour crafting to be relaxing, to be a moment to enjoy together and decompress from the long week. So for today's video, I went ahead and created this interactive folio. I'm gonna give you a walkthrough here in a second, but also I want to let you know that I created a cutting guide. So if you want to kind of have the cutting guide to go along with the tutorial, I'll have the link on the description box down below. And I'm also going to be using a lot of my stash for this series. So I am using a collection that I had on my stash for a really long time. So this is the Bo Bunny Sweet Moments collection. So I invite you to use your stash for this series and start creating all those projects, especially the collections that you most love, that you have been hoarding for a while. So this folio measures 9 inches by 7 inches and it has a 1-inch spine, and I'm using only heavyweight to create this project. So super quick and easy. We're gonna be putting this book together in under an hour, and including the decorating of the pages and everything. So over here we have a opening page, so this opens side to side, and this is also an easel feature here, so you can display your pictures in a fun way. And then this is also a pocket, so you have an area here to add even more photo mats. On the back we have a sliding feature, and then this opens and opens here, and then each one of these sides open up as well. So this opens up like this, and then this closes and closes, and everything slides back into the pocket. And then on this side here we have a sliding belt. It opens up like this, and then we have kind of like a side to side waterfall feature. So I'm excited to craft along with you guys. So again, make sure that you are subscribed. Make sure that you come back every Friday for a new 1 hour crafting project. And if you would like to see more projects like this, you can always become a member of my channel and enjoy a bonus tutorial, a technique tutorial, and a live class together here. So now we're just gonna go ahead and put this together. So for this project, we are going to be using some heavyweight cardstock. I'm using black, and I'm mainly using collections from my stash. So this is the Bo Bunny Sweet Moments collection that I have had on my stash for the longest time. So I purchased this at Tuesday morning, probably before 2020, so it's been a few years that I had this, but I love this collection. I love the colors, so I think it's time for me to finally use this. But I invite you to use any of those paper collections that you have been saving for the longest time. So get those out and let's get crafting with that. So I did set my timer to 1 hour. Actually, let me set it again. So we're gonna start the timer. Oh, this one says an hour and 30 minutes. Okay, so we're just gonna set it for an hour. Now I do want to say that I have construction going outside my house, my neighbors, and if it gets a little loud, I'll probably stop the video. So if you see the video being edited, that is why. And so yeah, so I'm going to get started right away with the base of this folio. So again, I want this time to be relaxing, to be creative, and we're just gonna hang out and have a good time here together. So I'm going to start with one piece, and this one is going to be 9 by 8. Okay. And then we're going to score along the 8 inches. I'm going to score. Let me grab my score tool. So along the 8 inches, I'm going to score at 1. And I'm going to score at 2. Yes. And then we're going to put that piece to the side, and we're going to cut a second piece. And this one is going to be 9 by 7.5. Okay. And we are also going to score at 1 and at 2. Okay, so these are going to be my front. Then I'm going to cut 2 pieces at 9 by 7. Okay, and we're going to start gluing here. So this is going to be my base, but I do want to double it. That's why I have 2 pieces. So we are going to grab our front panel pieces and fold along the score lines, and we are going to glue 1 on each side. So let me just go ahead and add my glue here, and I'm going to put my phone inside. Sorry about that. And we are just going to line this up. Okay, so place these right here on one side, and then open that up, and then we are going to fold along the score lines this second piece here. We are going to add the glue. Okay, so we're just going to add some glue here and add this piece on the other side. So just line this up and press down. And then we're going to open this up, and we are going to add the second piece that we cut at the center. Now make sure that you are not on top of your bending lines here. So we should be good on this side. But if you are on top of your bending lines, you can always take out just a tiny bit here along the side. But I'm going to go ahead and just add my glue. And we're going to place this piece right over here. Okay, and press down. Okay, so press down again. Make sure that you can fold this and you're not on top of your bending line. And same thing over here. Okay, so this is going to be the base for our folio here. And now we're going to start working on the inside panels. So first I'm going to just simply cut 4 pieces. Let me get this out. Okay, and these are going to be 5.5 by 8.5. So I'm gonna cut 5.5 by 8.5, and same thing, this one's should be 5.5 by 8.5. And we are going to score these 4 pieces here along the 5.5 inch. We're going to score at 1/2 inch. Okay, so 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and 1/2 inch here. And then we're going to fold along the score lines. So we're going to fold 2, 3, and 4. And we are going to bring back our folio base. And on this right panel, so now remember we have one that's slightly bigger. So one side panel is going to be 5.5. That's going to be the closure here on top. And the other side panel is going to be 6 inches. Excuse me. And then on the 6-inch panel is where we're going to be gluing these pieces. And you want to center these up and down here on the page. so I'm going to add 2 pieces on the left side. Excuse my voice. And we're going to add 2 pieces on the right side. Okay, so just added the first one. I'm gonna place the second one right on top. Okay, so we have those 2, and then we're going to do this second piece. Okay, and let's open this up and add this on the other side. Okay, so press down and press down this one here, right on top. Line this up, and there we go. Okay, so now we have these 4 pieces, so these are gonna open to each side, and then along the top I'm going to add 2 flaps. So these are going to be 4. We're gonna do 2 pieces at 4 by 8. Let's see here. Let's do 4 by 7, and we are going to score at 1/2 inch along the 7 inches. Okay, so we're gonna score at 1/2 and score at 1/2, and then we're going to fold along the score lines, and we are going to again bring back our folio, and then we are going to open all of these pieces, and we're going to glue these 2, one along the top. Okay, so we're gonna place that in center right here, and then we're going to do this other piece right down here. So make sure they're lined up and press down. Okay, so this is gonna open and open, and then we're gonna close these pieces, and this is going to be our closure. Now for our closure, I'm going to be using one of my scrap pieces here. So let me find a smaller piece. So this one here, and we're going to create a belt loop. So this is going to be, I think I'm gonna have to cut a bigger one. Yeah, let me do another piece actually. So we're gonna cut a piece that's going to be about 2 inches. Yeah, so we're gonna do 2 by 9. Okay, and we are going to score along the 9 inches. I'm going to score at 4 1/8 and at 8 1/4. Okay, so this is going to be our loop, and we're going to fold along the score lines, and we're going to glue the ends together. Okay, so we're just going to glue these and press down. Now we're going to bring these, and we're going to insert this loop up in here, and this is going to be the closure for this page. So you're going to put your other section and then just slide your loop right in between. So it's going to be like a little belt. So that is going to be all this right side panel here. Okay, so now we're gonna work on the center. Actually, before I work on the center, I want to start adding my design paper, so that way I remember all my measurements already. Okay, so we are going to just select some background pages. So again, any paper collection that you have, let's go ahead and bring those out. I'm going to start with these 3 pieces. Okay. And so we are going to cut these at 8 1/4 by 4 3/4. Okay, so 8 1/4 by 4 3/4. And then we can go ahead and start gluing your papers. So let's open these up, and let's see, I'm gonna do those here, and I think I kind of like this. We'll do the pink. Okay, and so we're just going to glue these pieces. Okay, so you probably need more, but we're just gonna start with these. I'm gonna do that right here. Okay, and then glue these, and then I'm gonna add place that one here. Okay, and then I have this one. I'll probably do this one on the inside. Okay, and then just gonna put that one here. Place that right there, and then I'm going to cut just a couple more. So let's put this here for now, and I'm going to do this one here. So again, we're gonna do 8 1/4 by 4 3/4. And then I'm going to cut one for the center. So I think I'm going to use this one. And so the one for the center is going to be 8 3/4 by 5 3/4. Okay, and so let's bring this back. Okay, so I'm just going to finish up gluing these pieces. So that can go right here, and then let's add this one. Okay, and then for the center we have this piece, so let's just first double check. Okay, and we are going to just glue this down. Okay, so there we go. And so that's gonna be this section, and then we have the 2 sides. I'm actually gonna use this sheet here. I think that will fit the back. Oh no, it's a little too small. Okay, so I'll save it for something else. But I do want to add the 2 pieces, so I can just use some of my scraps here maybe for these sections. So let me use this, and this is going to be 3 3/4 by 6 1/4, I think. Yeah, so we're just gonna glue okay, so I'm just gonna put this one right there, and then I don't think I have enough of that same pattern because this one is a little too small, but I'm just gonna grab another one of those. Okay, so here. So again, we're gonna cut this at 3 3/4 by 6 1/4. Okay, and we are just going to glue these right here. Okay. Make sure I have enough glue. And okay, so that's gonna be this side, and then for this belt piece, I think I want to add this pattern here. And so we're just simply going to cut these at 4 or maybe 3 7/8, and then by 1 3/4. Okay, and then this little piece can be right here. Okay, and there we go. So that's gonna be this left side or right side. So now we're gonna start with the center piece. So I'm going to cut one piece at 2 by 10, and we're going to score this piece here along the 10 inches. We're going to score at 1/2 inch and at 9 1/2. And then we're going to cut another piece, and this one is going to be 1 by 5. Okay, and we are going to score along the 5 inches. We're going to do 2 1/8, and we're gonna do 4 1/4, and then we're just going to fold and glue these together. So this is going to be another loop, and we are going to pass this through this first piece here, and then we're gonna fold the score lines back, and we are going to add this piece at the center of our folio. So we're gonna add the glue on these 2 1/2 inch sections, and then we are going to glue these along the top and the bottom. So we're going to place it right at the center. Okay, so press down and press. We're going to cut a piece that is going to be 8 3/4 by 7 1/2, and we are going to score along the 8 3/4 at 1/2 inch and 1 inch, and then we're gonna score at 7 3/4 and at 8 1/4, and we are going to fold along the score lines. Okay, so just fold and fold, and then we are going to move this sliding loop all the way up right here, and we're going to glue this piece along the bottom right here. So we're gonna glue the 1/2 inch section. Okay, so we're gonna glue on this side. So just kind of press down. And the 1/2 inch is going to be a gusset right there. And then we're going to add the glue on the other side right here. And then we're going to glue this down. Okay, so you want to make sure that your gussets are perpendicular. And there we go. And then I'm just going to try to press down right here like this. Okay, so now we're gonna work on that sliding piece. So we are going to cut a page that is going to be 7.5. Oh, let's do it this way. So this is going to be 9 by 7.5. And then let's cut 2 pieces here. And let me bring this too. And I'm going to do these 2 pieces at 7.5. Okay, by 6.5. And we're going to score at 1/2 inch along the 7.5. Okay, so along the 6.5. We're going to score at 1/2 inch. Okay, so along the 6.5, we're going to score at 1/2 inch, and then we're just going to fold and fold. This piece that we cut at 9 by 7.5 is actually going to be by 6.5. Okay, so 9 by 6.5, and we are going to glue the 2 pieces that we just cut along the top, okay, or along the sides top. And so we're gonna add 1 over to the left side. Okay, so again, stay kind of along the top of this page, and then same thing for this other piece. And I'm going to place that right over here, and then press down. And then I'm going to cut 4 pieces at 5.5 by 7. Okay, so let's do again. 5.5 by 7. And I'm going to do 4 of those. So 5.5 by 7. Here, 5.5 by 7. And then we're going to score at 1/2 inch along the 7 inches. And we're just gonna score half an inch and 1/2 inch. And then we're going to fold all these pieces along the score lines. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we are going to glue those pieces over here. So I'm just going to open these 2 flaps, and on the inside flaps we're going to add these pieces here. So I'm going to place 1 along the top, and then we're going to do this one along the bottom. Okay, and then same thing on the other side. Okay, so we're gonna do top here, And then we're going to add this one along the bottom of the page, just like that. Okay, and then press down, and then these are gonna close and close. Now before I add that to my book, I'm just going to add my paper. You can wait and add the paper all at the end, but I'm just trying to save time and remember my measurements. So I'm just gonna add the paper as I go. And so we are going to cut, put that on the side. So I'm going to cut 4 pieces, and these are going to be 6 1/4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so let's do this one here first, and then I'm just gonna open this up, and then we're going to add these pieces over here. So I'm just gonna add my glue, and I'm only adding paper on some of the pages. Whoops. So that's gonna go right there. Okay, and then let's do this one. Add right here, and then we're going to do the same on the other side. Okay, so this is gonna go right here, and then open this up and add this right over here. Okay, and then we're going to cut 2 pieces. This should be good. These are going to be 5 3/4 by 7 1/4. Okay. And then we're gonna put those over on this side. Okay, so that's gonna go there, and then I'm gonna close this, and we're gonna put this right here. Okay, and then I'm just gonna cut one more for the center. So let's pick, oh, this one's super cute. Maybe I'll do something more natural. Okay, and so this one is going to be 8 3/4. Okay, so let's do 8 3/4 by 6 1/4. And we're just going to go ahead and put these here at the center. And add the glue right there. And place this piece right here. Okay, so that's gonna be this whole section, and this whole piece is going to go on the inside here, on the inside of the drawer. So on that loop that we have here along the top, we are going to add the glue. Okay, so add your glue right there, and then we're going to place this piece right in here. Okay, so I'm just gonna put that right there. Okay, so you want to line it up to the edge, the bottom of that loop. It's where you want to put this piece right here, like that. Okay, and then you're going to slide this all the way in there. So this is going to be inside your center. So this is gonna pull out, And as you can see, this won't come out of the book. And this is gonna open and open, and then you have your other features here also. And we're gonna push this back in and just add a couple features here on the front. For the center front, we are going to cut one piece at 6 3/4 by 8, and we are going to score this piece here along the 8 inches. We're going to score at 3 3/4 and at 7 1/2, and then we're just going to fold along the score lines. And I'm gonna put this to the side. Then we're going to cut one piece. This is going to be 6 3/4 by 7 1/2. Okay, and then I'm going to do two pieces at 7 1/2 by 5 1/2. Okay, so let's do 5 1/2, 5 1/2. And we are going to score these two pieces along the 5 1/2. We're going to score at 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. And then we're going to fold along score lines. And then we're going to bring back this piece and add these two pieces over here. Okay, so we're just gonna add one on each side. Line this up right there, and then press down, and then here again add the glue, and we're gonna place this on the other side right here like that, and press down. Then we're gonna grab the other first piece that we score, and we want to fold the 1/2 inch along the top, and then on this bottom section from the score line to the bottom, we're going to add glue. Okay, so you're just gonna add glue right here, and we're going to place this piece right on top. So line it up right on top and press down. Okay, so that is gonna be this piece. Now let me put this to the side for now and just cut one more piece. This one is going to be 3 1/2 by 7 3/4, and we're going to score at 1/2 inch on 3 sections, so along the 3 1/2, and then we're gonna do 1/2 inch here and 7 1/4 on this side. And then we're going to cut the corners. Let's see, my scissors here, just these little ones. We're just gonna cut these corners there, and we're going to fold along the score lines. Okay, so this is going to be a pocket, and now we're just going to, I'm gonna add paper before I glue these down. So I'm gonna use this piece. We're gonna cut this at 6 1/2 by, I think this will be by 2 3/4. Okay, and let's glue this down. Okay, so let's put this piece right there. Press down, and then over here I'm also going to maybe just add my paper now. Let's pick something. Okay, so let's see. This is gonna be more of like a front show, so I'm gonna use some of my cuter pages. I'm gonna use this, and I'm actually gonna use this one too. Okay, and let's cut this one here. We're gonna do 7 1/4 by 4 3/4. Okay, so these are gonna be on the front, 4 3/4, and then I'm gonna do this one for the back, 7 1/4 by 4 3/4. Okay, and let's go ahead and glue this down. Okay, so let's place one, and these ones are gonna go in the back. I'm gonna put this one over here because I think for this page I'm going to add a magnet to keep this closed. So I'm gonna use 10 by 1 millimeter magnets. So on my Amazon store I do have listed all of my magnets and tape and all of the things that I use, my crafty mostly used supplies. Okay, so we're gonna put magnets over here, and put this one right there, and then just close this up. Okay, and now I'm going to glue my paper. So let's take this out. And my glue. Okay, my glue, it's not coming out. Okay, here we go. So let's place this one here, and then place this one. Right there. There we go. And then I need one more for the center. So maybe I want to use the pink one here again. Okay, and so we're gonna cut this one at 7 1/4 by 6 1/2. Okay, and then that we can place at the center. Okay, just add the glue. Okay, and then so that is gonna be the center feature. So we're gonna open this up, and we are going to glue this piece along the top, and we're going to glue the pocket along the bottom. So let's go ahead and add the glue. Let's see, let's hope this works now. I have to check my timer, see how we're doing. I did pause a couple times because of the noise, but I did not pause the clock, so my clock has been going. Okay, so we're just gonna line this and place that right here. So you do want to hold these. Let's see, put some pressure in here, and then the sides. I'm just gonna hold it right there and hold it right here. And then this piece is going to go along the top. Okay, and then we're gonna place this right up here. Okay, so I'm just gonna hold it, and there we go. And then I do want to cut one piece for the back, so I'm gonna use this one and cut this at 6.5. This is by about 4.5. So this pocket is an easel pocket here, or this section, and so these two will open up like that. But I do want to add my cardstock back here. Okay, so we're gonna put this piece right up here. And there we go. And now all we need to do is add the magnets here for the front and add our design paper. So I'm going to use these magnets. I'm looking for my scissors, but it's okay. I guess I can manage with these ones. Just these ones don't cut very well, but that's okay. So we're just going to add the magnet over here. So I'm gonna put 3 magnets to make sure it stays close. 2, 3, right there. And then, yeah, I don't know what I did with my, one of the kids must have grabbed it, I am sure. Okay, so we're just gonna add these. Got 3 pieces. Put that, and then magnets, and then we're going to transfer these magnets to the other side. So I'm just going to close these and keep them perpendicular, and then just kind of press in there to get the glue marks transfer. And then I'm just gonna place my magnets facing down. Okay, right there and right here. Okay, and I'm going to add my tape. And there we go. So now I'm just going to press on the tape. And now just add the paper and we are done with our folio. So I'm going to select, I think it's in the front, one of the pieces I want to use. Let's see. There's a lot of little cut aparts that we can use to decorate. Okay, so I think this one is super cute. I might use this for the back. And then I need some pieces for the inside. So that one will be good. And then I want this page here for the cover. Okay, we can start with this. So we're going to cut. Let me cut. All of these ones are going to be 8 3/4. Okay, and then the front is going to be. This one is 5.5, but I do want to double check. Yes. So we'll cut these at 5 1/4. And so we're going to glue this down. Okay, that is going right here. Okay, then I'm going to do I want this one? Maybe I'll use something more colorful. But I'm going to cut this one the same. So this is going to be by 5 1/4, and that can go on this inside. So let me take this out. Oh, you know what? Actually, I think I'm gonna use the pink page. Do I have more of that pink page? To kind of go with this pink page here. Thought I had a section of that. That might be too small. Maybe I'll use this pink here instead. Okay, so I'm gonna do this at 5 1/4. Okay, and we're going to glue this piece down. Okay, so on the side where you have your magnets, you always just want to leave it blank. Maybe a picture can be placed here, but that's about it. Okay, so that's that. And now this is going to close and close. Okay, so this one could probably go here. That will be really pretty, right? So let's cut these at 5 3/4 and place that right there. Remove the tape. Okay, so checking my time here, I have 4 minutes left in my timer, but again, I did stop to some of the noise because the dogs were barking, and but I did not stop the timer. So hopefully you'll finish this project even sooner than me. Okay, so that now we just need the design for the back. I kind of changed my mind on this chocolate color. Actually, it's not bad for the back. Yeah, I think that's fine. It is the back. So we're just gonna do this piece right here. Okay, so this should be 6 3/4 by 8 3/4, and now I just need the spine, so I'm gonna use the pink. So 8 3/4, and then this is going to be by about 3/4 inches. And so I'm gonna do 4 of these. Okay, oh, there it is again. I don't know why they keep banging on the door, and it drives my dogs crazy. Okay, and so we are just going to glue these pieces here. Okay, so let's add 1 and 2. I'm excited because I have been wanting to use this collection in so long. It's one of those collections that you love so much that you want to just create the perfect project for it. But I have a new mindset that I just want to use my papers. This would be really cute here for a birthday folio. And I have a lot of birthday pictures, so I can definitely use it for that. Okay, so we're just gonna glue these 2 pieces here on the inside. Let's add that. Right there. And there we go. That is gonna be our interactive folio. probably add something here on the center. But yeah, I think this turned out super cute. So let me just clean up in here, and then we'll do a final walkthrough right at the 1 hour mark, and we're just gonna cancel that because we did it. We did this project from start to finish in 1 hour or less. Oops. And I am excited that we actually used the paper and just created really fun and easy layout. So this opens up like that. This is an easel card, and then, or easel page, and then you can also use the pocket, of course, and add more photo mats. Then we have our sliding section here, which I think is super fun and interactive for these type of projects. This opens and opens, and then plenty of room for pictures there as well. And then this all slides back in place. And then on this right side we have this little belt. It opens up and down, and then we have over here kind of like a side to side waterfall page feature. And I think this turned out really cute. So I hope that you guys enjoy the video. I hope that you are excited about the new 1 hour crafting series. So make sure that you come back next Friday for another quick and easy project and a relaxing time. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.